The reason why you can't change is because you find comfort in the old version of you. And you might be thinking, why would I find comfort in the old version of me? I don't want to be the old version of me. I want to be the new version of me. Subconsciously, you find comfort in the old habits that you have. It's fulfilling some sort of need. If you tend to say you're going to do something and you can't follow through, that's just a sign that you find comfort in the version of you that can't follow through with those things. Following through is uncomfortable. And to your brain, the unknown is unsafe. And so it tries to keep you in the known, in the comfort. If you constantly fall back and if you constantly can't uphold your word and cannot follow through with what you say you're gonna do, that just destroys your self-confidence and your self-trust, making it even harder for you to accomplish those goals or get to that version of yourself, because now you've just created this chain of you can't follow through. And so your brain just believes that you can't follow through and that there's no point in trying, and so it's not gonna help you to get to those goals because you've already created that chain of, oh, well, looks like you can't trust yourself. So what you need to do is you need to start celebrating the small wins to rebuild that self-trust, to rebuild that idea of yourself that you have in your mind that you cannot do things, that you cannot follow through with things. It could be so small, like, for example, you woke up and made your bed today. Some people don't wake up and make their bed. You did that. Celebrate that. You did that. You did what you wanted to do. You didn't make your bed today? Okay, you drank water today. Some people don't have any water. Some people don't drink water. Some people are extremely dehydrated. You drank water today. That's great. That's an accomplishment. Make that an accomplishment. Celebrate every single little thing that you do, and you will begin to think, oh, like, I'm great. Like, I'm not in an egotistical way, like you're better than anyone else, but realize that you are great. It is all a mindset thing. It is all a mindset shift. Anything that you're not changing, you're choosing. We've created a subconscious belief system in our minds that has trained us to believe that we can't be a certain way because we have limited ourselves to a certain version of ourselves. And we've subconsciously made what we want to be on a pedestal or out of reach, or is just not you, and so you can't follow through. And all this discomfort and all this negative thinking that you have of yourself, those beliefs that you think that you're not good enough, those beliefs that you think that you're not confident, you're not the person that you want to be, all of that has been learned. Unfortunately, it has been learned. When you're born, you don't just come out thinking, oh, I'm ugly. There's villages out there who don't have the programming that we have in this modern day society, and nobody thinks that they're ugly. Ugly is not even a thing. Okay, well, maybe there's like, I mean, maybe not necessarily that, but they probably have different beauty standards that are completely different from us, because ultimately beauty is subjective, and so you can't even say that you're ugly because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You might have learned it from your friends, you might have learned it from your parents, and your parents might have learned it from their grandparents, and your parents, those grandparents maybe learned it from their cousin. It's all been passed down. It's all been passed down from generations and generations, and we collectively project it onto each other, which makes this collective negative loop that we're all stuck in. So what I'm trying to say is, it's a program. And what can you do with programs? You can reprogram them. If you're around people who are always following through and they literally don't even think about having any type of excuses, like they just do it, you're gonna end up being that way too. Like, if there's a child and they literally live with that, they will adopt those traits. They will adopt that just do it mindset. So it's taught. That comfortable version of you is fulfilling some sort of feeling, or I guess you could also say fulfilling some sort of need, whether that be security, whether that be feeling accepted, feeling loved, feeling confident. You might feel more confident in your comfort zone. So it's fulfilling some sort of need within or feeling within that you want to give yourself. But what you need to realize is that the feelings that it's giving you, you can give yourself. Also, I just wanted to add that when you're stuck in your comfort zone and you're relying on your comfort zone to give you the feelings that you want to have, such as love, security, confidence, you're basically placing your ability to feel those feelings in external circumstances. And external circumstances can always change, meaning that you really have a false sense of security. The second that your comfort zone changes, your feelings are now fragile and can be easily altered by the external circumstance. And so since external things are always changing, you need to be able to rely on your internal dialogue and your internal beliefs. So then external circumstances won't alter your state of being. You don't need to fall into old habits to feel that way. You can feel that way in the new version of yourself, but your mind, your subconscious mind doesn't know that because it's so used to the old version of you. When you change your beliefs, when you change your inner world, your outer world will reflect that. It has no choice to. But the thing is, if you truly want to be that version of you, if you truly want to reprogram your mind, if you truly want to get out of that old version of you, you need to completely immerse your mind in the version of you that you want to be. Like completely immerse. And I'm not only talking about just the image, I'm talking about what they do. I'm talking about what they say, what they think, what their lifestyle is like. You need to have the same exact belief system as that person that you want to be. Once you completely immerse yourself in those thoughts and beliefs, regardless if you feel like it's true in the moment, you're going to have no choice but to change. Because now your mind is thinking on a whole different wavelength. And so you're just going to start to do different things. You're going to start to think differently about certain things, and then that's going to lead you to feel certain ways, and those feelings are going to start to make you act certain ways which align better with the version of yourself that you want to be. An Olympic athlete does not just show up to the race and just win. They got to put in the reps on their own time. And so I'm talking when you're home, when you're by yourself, you gotta watch yourself talk, because you cannot blame yourself for not always doing what that version of you would do, because it's a rep game. The more that you do it, the more that you immerse your mind in that thought, the more that you make these small improvements, these small changes in belief, the more that you will change in person. I seen like this video of this one girl who's, I think, a runner or something, some sort of like Olympic champion or something, and basically she was talking about how she already knew that she was gonna win. She already was telling herself months in advance, or I think she would say right when she woke up, she would tell herself that she's the champion, that she's the champion, that she's the champion of whatever race. And she literally immersed her mind in that belief so much that it was inevitable that she was gonna win. But that also doesn't mean that you could just say things in the mirror 1,000 million times and expect it to just happen. It's about adopting the mindset, actually adopting the mindset and embodying that person. It's about completely changing, like washing out the old version of you, completely transforming yourself. You can't tell yourself that you're gonna be a successful business owner and then just play video games all day, every day, and expect it to just come just because you told yourself it. If you can't follow through with who you want to be, if you can't take the steps to be that person, you simply have not adopted the mindset enough. I'll tell you that right now, because I'm speaking from experience, at least, I feel like. Because the old version of me, I used to be the type to write down affirmations and write down all these little things that I wanted to be. And I was not, well, I was most of them, but the bigger ones, like for example, like money goals or like actually getting out of my comfort zone, I was not following through. And that's because I didn't actually, no matter how many times I wrote that down or told myself I was that person, I was not fully adopting it in my mind. I was simply just saying it. You cannot just simply say it. You got to adopt it. You literally have to be and embody that person. When you tell yourself it, you gotta feel it. You gotta know it. You gotta know that you're that person. It's not just a believing game. It's a knowing game because it's a choice. For example, if you were to choose a character that had the potential to level up to like level 100 or I don't know, you choose that character knowing that they can get to that goal, knowing that that is within them, knowing that that is them, but you just gotta put in the reps. You just gotta keep on doing the things that that person would do, and you will be that version of you. And you cannot have any limiting beliefs that you put on yourself, because any limiting beliefs that you put on yourself is simply just blocking what you truly want. Like I said, you gotta wash out the old version of you by pouring in new beliefs, by pouring in new thoughts, by pouring in a new mindset, pouring in all that light, because you cannot get rid of darkness without light. The only way to get rid of darkness is by having light. And so you need to pour that light into you, because that's the only way. That is literally the only way. You literally have to replace every single limiting belief that you have in your mind and reprogram it with the true beliefs that align to who you actually are, because that version of you is actually you. Because the only reason why you have that version of you in your mind is because that version of you is you. If your mind tells you that there is a version of you that is possible to be, that version of you is you. People call this shadow work, you call this inner work, you call this just working on yourself, you call it whatever you want. But you gotta figure out why you tend to fall back on these patterns, on these negative patterns that you don't want to have anymore. And sometimes that might be from childhood, it might be from other people, it might just be a belief that you have accumulated over the years. Because if you don't figure out the core reason, if you don't figure out the root, you're just gonna end up doing the same thing over and over and over again. You're just gonna end up falling back to that old pattern that you don't want to have anymore. You're just gonna fall back to that old version of you that you do not want to be anymore. Just like when you try to pull out a weed, if you don't pull it out at the root, it's just gonna grow back. If you don't take that issue at the root and figure it out, it's just gonna grow back. And you're just gonna continue doing the same thing over and over again because you haven't gone to the root. And so that's what I had to do. I had to figure out why I was insecure, what led me to be insecure, what led me to feel like I'm not good enough, what led me to feel all these things that I had to do, that I had to figure out within me as to why I was the way that I was, in order to move past, in order to actually see it for what it actually is, instead of the false belief that's over top of it, and take it at the root and pull it out. Then I could plant a new seed and become the version of myself that I actually want to be. And I do that by implanting new thoughts, by implanting new beliefs, by reversing all the old programming that I've had. You think that you just don't have it in you, you just, you're just not special, you're just, you're not all that. Let me tell you, you haven't even tried. You haven't even tried. We are literally made to evolve. Physically and mentally and spiritually made to evolve. We have the capacity. We don't even know our full potential. We don't even use I swear we only use like 5% of our brain or something along the lines of that. We go to the gym, we tear our muscles for them to just grow bigger. We grow through discomfort. We grow through training. We grow through training our minds to become a better version of ourselves. To have confidence in yourself means to be sure of yourself. And to be sure of yourself means to have confidence in yourself, to have self-trust with yourself. I used to have a problem with thinking that I wasn't good enough and I couldn't believe in myself and that I had all this lack of self-belief, and that was because I had a lack of self-trust, which I believe came from not being able to follow through with what I said I was going to do. That took time to fully believe in myself that I can be that person. But ultimately, if I'm gonna be honest, it was really just a choice. That entire time, it was really just a choice to believe that I was worthy, that I was enough, that I was more than enough. Baby, now that I think about it, it wasn't really a choice. In a way, it's kind of like a realization. Because the thing is, what you're choosing is actually already within you. So in a way, you're really just realizing what's already within you. That version of you that you want to be, that's already within you. You just got to realize, oh, I am that person. That's kind of it. Like, you literally just got to realize it. Like, just realize that you are that person. That those negative thoughts, that those negative patterns are all just learned, are all just from a program that has been instilled in you since you were a kid. Realize that that's all an illusion. All of it is an illusion, and you get to choose what you want. You are that version of yourself that has a successful business. You are that version of yourself that made the championship. You are that version of yourself that followed through with that goal, that followed through with that challenge. You are that person. Every single moment is a new moment. And every single moment you are a new person. You cannot change what's in the past. You cannot change what you did 10 minutes ago. You cannot change anything that you did in the past. Every single moment, you are technically born again. Every single second, every single now moment. And so you can choose what you want to be in that moment. You could literally just switch. And that's not to say that it's just going to automatically show up in your reality. But the more that you put in those reps, the more that you choose to be that person and embody that person and feel that person and know that you are that person internally, it will show up in your outer reality. It has no choice but to show up externally. And that goes the same way with being negative. If you fuel your mind with all these negative thoughts, all these negative beliefs, it will just show up in your reality. If you believe that you cannot follow through with things, if you believe that you're not good enough, if you believe that you are not confident, if you choose to be that person, it will just reflect. It will just reflect in your outer reality. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I did this video on no notes. With no notes. And yeah, like I just realized that I am the person. I am the type of person to just be able to just talk on the camera without notes. Like, I could just talk on the camera without notes. Like, what am I noting for? I could just talk. And that's really just a choice. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, I usually always have notes with me, and I always kind of just prep beforehand so I know exactly what to say and blah, blah, blah. But you can literally choose to be that version of you. If you can picture in your mind that version of you that you want to be, that version of you is you. Like, yes, obviously it took me a little bit of time to be able to actually talk like this on camera, but I just realized that I talk like this to all my friends and family. So it's like, it's the same thing. I already know it's within me, so it's like I just gotta choose to be able to be that person. And yeah, and that doesn't mean that if you know, you choose to be able to run super fast and win an Olympic game, it doesn't mean you're just gonna be able to do it, but that means that you internally shift. And so you begin to do things to build up to that version of you that wins the Olympics. But yeah, like for example, for me, I didn't start a YouTube channel for years because I was too afraid, and I had to build up the courage by talking to other people and giving them advice, and just, kind of realizing, oh, maybe I can start a YouTube channel. And yeah, so those were my reps. You don't always see the reps behind the scenes. You don't always see. It's okay for you to not fully show up as that version of you when you first begin to choose to be that way. If you choose to be that way and you still kind of slack off, you still kind of mess up, that doesn't mean that you're not that person. That just means that you just got to put in more reps to be that person. And the more reps that you do, the more you wash out the old version of yourself. And so yeah. But yeah, anyways, that is it for today's video. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments below. And I also wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who reaches out to me and messages me on my Instagram telling me how my video helped them, or just says like the most loving paragraph or whatever. It literally brings me so much joy and happiness. Like, you guys have no idea. That motivates me so much. Like, I just love it so much. But thank you guys so much for all the support. It truly, truly means the world to me. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, because on this channel we're constantly evolving. And if you want to join the crew, come join. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace and love, y'all.